Kicking below the waist. Any intentional attack below the waist level, meaning below the trunk protector, this is gamjan. If an intentional contact below the waist occurs during an exchange, then no gamjan will be given. So meaning when both players are attacking, they're engaging in technical contact, then if this happens and it's unintentional, no gamjan is given. If a contestant does a double technique, let's say first kick hits below the trunk level, okay, so below the PSS, below the waist level, and the second kick goes higher to the body or to the head and it scores, then the gamjan is given for kicking below the waist, and the points that were scored after would be invalidated. Attacking the opponent after a kallyo. So for this one, if the attacking motion started before kallyo, then the attack shall not be penalized. So what we define as kallyo is when the referee has completely, fully extended their arm at the solar plexus level. So when the arm is still bent, here, this is not kallyo, this is not kallyo, not kallyo. It's when the arm is fully extended at the solar plexus level. This is considered kallyo. So what we look for is where the foot placement is at the timing of kallyo. So if the foot left the ground before the completion of the extension of the arm from the referee, then this is not considered attack after kallyo, even if the kick makes contact after the extension of the arm. What we're looking for is where the foot placement is. Was it on the ground or already off the ground before or after the arm extension? So if we see the center referee's arm fully extended at kallyo position and the foot was still on the ground and then lifted to kick, then this is when it's a gamjan. And of course, if any points scored, they would be invalidated. If the attack did not land on the opponent's body, but it appeared deliberate and malicious, the referee may penalize the behavior with a gamjan. Hitting the opponent's head with the hand. So hitting the opponent's head with the hand, fist, arm, wrist, elbow. So any contact with the arm to the opponent's head, this is a gamjan. Unavoidable contact due to the opponent lowering the head may not be punished. What this means is maybe I'm doing a punch to the body, but my opponent went down, crouched down, so it caused my punch to hit their head. This is not my fault, it's the opponent for going down. So this would not be a gamjan for hitting the opponent to the head. Butting or attacking with the knee. Butting the opponent with the head is a gamjan for misconduct. Intentional knee attack in close proximity to the opponent. So when they're close or maybe coming into the clinch position and attacking with the knee, this is a gamjan. No gamjan if the opponent rushes in while contestant is getting ready to kick. So if I am lifting my leg to kick, but at the same time that I'm lifting my knee, the opponent rushes in, this is not a gamjan. This is just part of the exchange. Attacking the fallen opponent. Intentional attack to the fallen opponent, regardless of the degree of the impact. So what we're looking for here is a fallen opponent. What that means is any part of the foot has touched the ground. Okay, so any part outside of the foot. So maybe knee, hand, elbow has touched the ground. This is considered a fallen opponent. The process of falling is okay. So I can attack and kick the opponent if they are falling. But the moment that any other part of the foot other than the foot touches the ground, this is considered fallen opponent. And this is when it would be a gamjan. So one more time. If my opponent is falling, meaning they're in the process of falling, they're going down, falling, I kick and score is no problem. But once they have touched the ground with any part of their body other than the foot, then this is fallen. So If they have fallen and I kick and I attack, then this is a gamjan for attacking the fallen opponent. Of course, any points scored from that also will be invalidated. Attacking the trunk PSS with the side or bottom of the foot in the clinch position. So this is when players are in the clinch and we see the animal kicks. So for example, that monkey kick or the fish kick. Right away, this is a gamjan that will be given for grabbing. And if any points scored, they will be invalidated. Now, we take the same concept and apply this now to attacking the back of the head and attacking the back of the head PSS in the clinch position. So, when players are in the clinch, if a player tries to lift their leg behind me and the intent is aiming to kick the back of the head, then that's when it's a gamjan. If any points scored, they're invalidated. Regardless if there's contact or not, but the intent was to kick the back of the head, then the gamjan is given. This usually happens when there's some sort of holding or grabbing or crossing of the opponent's the arms to the opponent's body. So again, if the intent is clearly to attack the back of the head, then it's a gamjan. For misconduct, not complying with the referee's commands, any inappropriate protesting or criticizing of the official's decision, attempting to disturb or influence the outcome of the match, provoking or insulting the opponents or the coach, or if there is any unaccredited doctor accompanying the coach to the field of play, or lastly, any undesirable behavior or unsportsmanlike conduct, whether from the contestant or from the coach, then this is a gamjan for misconduct. If the prohibited act occurs after the referee declares kallyo, then the gamjan that can be given, there's only two cases: attack after kallyo or misconduct. Additionally, a center referee can give two gamjans only in these situations. Let's say, for example, I go in to do kallyo because I see there's grabbing. So I go in to stop to give the gamjan for grabbing. After the grabbing, and you see the kallyo, the player continues and kicks. So this is attack after kallyo. Only when there's an attack after kallyo or misconduct that the second gamjan can be given. So in this case, the first gamjan would be for grabbing, and the second gamjan would be given for attack after kallyo. Any points scored after either one of those gamjans would be invalidated. So one more time, the only time a second gamjan can be given is when there is an attack after kallyo or misconduct. This is part of our new rules as well. When misconduct is committed by a contestant or coach during the rest period, so in between rounds, and it's past the 5 seconds of the conclusion of the round, the gamjan will go to the upcoming round. But if the action is within 5 seconds of the conclusion of the previous round, then the gamjan will go to the previous round. This is important to be aware because this can change the outcome of the round winner. If a gamjan is given after the end of the round and it goes to the previous round, it could make a difference. So please be aware. Kishi and pretending injury. If the contestant requires medical treatment, then the center referee will call the doctor. And when he or she arrives, the center referee will switch the time to Keishi for 1 minute. If the doctor says, yes, the contestant is ready to continue, but maybe they need additional time because they need to stop the bleeding or finish taping, then 1 more minute can be awarded. This is only if the doctor says that yes, the contestant can continue, but they just need a little more time to finish cleaning up or taping. If the center referee is not sure that a contestant is pretending injury or not, the center referee can use their own card to check to see if the player is pretending injury. For example, let's say there is a punch and the player grabs their head and goes down. And the center referee is not sure. They think maybe it was the body. They will use their IVR card to request video replay to see if they're pretending injury or not. If a player is pretending injury, they will receive the gamjan for falling down, if there was a falling down, and a second gamjan for misconduct. Video replay. Coaches are given one video replay card per each contest. Coaches must request video replay within 5 seconds of the action. This is important. If coaches wait too long, then it will be rejected. So again, within 5 seconds of the action, a coach must stand up to request video replay. Only one action can be requested. And coaches must speak only English when requesting video replay. You may use body language to assist in communication. So for example, you can say no gamjan or no gamjan for grabbing. Opponent was pushing. Whatever you want to communicate and you want to use body language, it's acceptable. The decision of the review jury is final. So that means once a situation has been reviewed, no further review will be done. The review jury accepts a request when it can be clearly seen on the video. If there's a technical problem, let's say for example, there was no recording available, then the request will be rejected, but the review card will be given back to the coach. Here's a quick glance at some of the things that coaches can request for IVR. For your own player, you can request when there's a punch misidentification. For example, your player does a clear punch. He's the only one that punched, but the point went to the opponent. So this is a time that you could request punch misidentification. Or perhaps when clear punch only by one player and the judges pushed for the punch point, but they missed the scoring window. Maybe one judge was a little bit quicker and the other one was a little bit slower and it didn't register. But you see, as a coach, you see the lines. This also would be punch misidentification. But this only applies when only one player punched. If they both punch, it does not. Technical points. Anytime your player does do a turning kick and points scored, but the technical points, the additional 2 points did not get awarded, you can request for the 2 additional technical points. Part of our new rules, now coaches can request head kick. And anytime you feel like there was impact from a kick to the head, then you can request for a head kick. For the review jury, what we're looking for is if there was any contact with a permitted technique, meaning any part of the foot below the ankle bone to the scoring area, which is from the bottom of the chin strap and up. That's what we're looking for, as long as there was contact with permitted technique to the scoring area. Any gamjan that's given to your player, then you can request for the invalidation of that gamjan. If any points were invalidated with that gamjan, you may also request to have those points reinstated. Or you could also request for points to be reinstated because they were scored before the gamjan action. So maybe scored 2 points and then there was grabbing. So you say, okay, grabbing's okay, but the 2 points were before. Then you can request for these points to be restored. For the opponent, you can only ask for 4 gamjans. Number 1 is for falling down. If you believe the opponent fall down, then you can request for gamjan for the opponent. Crossing the boundary line, attack after Kallio, or attacking attacking the fallen opponent. And of course, any points that were scored because of that gamjan, then they would be invalidated. You can also request invalidation of technical points. So if you believe that there was a kick that was turning kick, but that one didn't score, maybe it was the following one that scored, but the judges pressed for technical points and it registered as a turning kick, you can request invalidation of technical points for the opponent so we can review to see which kick is the one that should be or invalidate those technical points. Lastly, invalidation of points. So if the opponent was given a gamjan, let's say for grabbing, and then 2 points scored, but the referee did not invalidate those points, you can request for the invalidation of points because the gamjan was given. And then any technical issues. Anytime there's technical issues, you may use your card to request to check this. So starting off with testing the PSS. If you believe that the system's not working, you can request to do a quick test. If this is done in the first round or second round, the center referee will use their own card. But if this is requested, the third round, we use the coach's card, and if the system's working properly, a gamjan will be given for misconduct, and the request is rejected. Phantom points. If you see that there are any phantom points, meaning there was no kick, no action, but points came up, then you can request this to be reviewed. Any time issues, so maybe there was action, referee stopped, and then the time didn't stop. Computer operator didn't stop it in time. You believe 5-6 seconds passed, you can ask that there was a time issue. Or scoreboard entry. Maybe gamjan was given to the opponent, but it was entered into your player instead. So you can request for this as well. After the IVR request, the review jury, once they have checked, they will give either an accept signal or a rejected signal. This is for you to know if your request was accepted or rejected. And that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for participating today, and I look forward to seeing you at another event.